Hello guys, today I'm gonna talk about the technique that I think is the most important to have a good tone. And I'm not gonna talk about equipment like gear, guitars, amps. No, I'm gonna talk about the technique in your playing that every player should have, in my opinion. And this technique is called a rest stroke. So a rest stroke, like the name implies, is when you pick a string and you rest on the string that is under it, like this, or above it, like this. In comparison, this is a free stroke that when I play, the motion is diagonal. It's not towards this way, but it's outside, like this, or like this. So after I pick the string, I wanna be free. I don't wanna be trapped between the strings like in the rest stroke, that after I finish it, I'm sort of trapped here between these two strings. Again, see? And the benefits of the rest stroke, first of all, it doesn't sound as sterile as the free stroke. Listen again, this is the free stroke, this is the rest. Free, rest. And like I said, there are two ways to do the rest stroke. The most common one is that you lean on the string under the string you're playing, like this. So I'm playing the fifth string and I'm leaning on the fourth string. The motion is towards the floor, and I trust the string that is under the string that I'm playing to stop me. I don't stop myself, like here in the free stroke, that I'm the one who stops the motion. I'm not going all the way. I'm not totally committed. But when I play a rest stroke, I'm totally committed to go as far as I can, but the string that is under me, it stops me. In my mind, the motion that I'm doing is that I'm, again, committed all the way, but it just so happens that there's a string below me or above me that stops me. If you ever studied Spanish guitar, they do a sort of the same technique but with your fingers. This is called apoyando. That bass players also use this technique. When you play a string, you lean on the string that is above it, like this. So this is apoyando, and the free stroke is called tirando. Apoyando, tirando. And just like with the pick, you hear that the rest stroke has a more meaty sound. And another benefit of this technique is that you can have much more volume. As compared to a free stroke. But you don't have to play this technique in order to get volume. In my opinion, also when you play lower volumes, the sound is better for most purposes when you use the rest stroke. So I'll play a bit more quiet now. This is not loud, but still it sounds better for most purposes than this. Free, rest. So you don't have to use this technique for volume. Another advantage that this technique will give you is that you'll be able to play better dynamically. Of course, because you can reach higher volumes, now you can control your playing dynamically better. What I just played would be, for me, literally impossible to do with free strokes. Not that I will remember correctly what I did, but I will try to play a thing with the same style with a free stroke. For me, I feel that it's harder to express myself without the rest strokes. So, how do you do these techniques? There are two ways, because you can do it on a downstroke or with an upstroke. In my opinion, the most common one is with a downstroke, but it doesn't matter. In my opinion, you should practice both of them. I'll get into that later. So, how do you do the downstroke rest stroke? In order to do that, your hand has to be supinated. What it means is there is your inner part of your forearm, and you should be able to see at least some of it, as opposed to the pronated position, in which we'll use later, in which the inner part of your forearm is visible to the person who's in front of you. So this is supinated, pronated, supinated. If you do pull-ups, supinated, you're seeing the inside of your forearm. Supinated, pronated. So you want a supinated position. And what it means is that your pick, this is perfect. Now it's perfectly vertical to the strings. So if you supinate your arm, it will be slanted downwards like this. This is perfectly vertical, slanted downwards. So we want this position. And what I suggest you do is just practice one note. You can accent every 4 notes, so you play 16th notes like this. So the motion, you go downwards and you lean on the string below it like this. I am downwards, and the upstroke is not this way, but it's this way, it's diagonal. So down, up, down, up. And the gypsy players, players who play gypsy music, they do a much more supinated position. You can see them play like this. And you don't have to go this far, but you can experiment with that. But you just have to have some degree of supinated position like this. And the other rest stroke is the upstroke rest stroke like this. And again, here the position of your forearm is pronated. You shouldn't be able to see the inside of your forearm. The person in front of you should be, like you see now, you're able to see it. And here, it sounds like this. So again, here I suggest you start with an upstroke. 1, it may be harder because maybe you're used to accent with a downstroke. So playing accents with an upstroke may be harder at the beginning. Up, up, up. So now I'll tell you why I think you should practice both techniques. And the reason is because they both have advantages and disadvantages. Some phrases are easier to play with this technique, and some phrases are easier to play with this technique. And another reason is because everyone is built different. And for instance, if I have to play one note as fast as I can, for me it's much easier with the pronated position. It's much easier than with the supinated position. But on the other end, I still practice the supinated position. Why? Because I think it sounds different as compared to this. It just sounds different. So I practice both of these, and for instance, if I play like an Eric Johnson style lick, like his famous 5 descending pentatonic, I won't get into it in this video, but it would be literally impossible to play in this technique. You have to, as you can see him playing himself, his arm is supinated. One last thing I forgot to mention is that I suggest you don't practice on either E strings, at least at the beginning, because you want another string to block you, to stop you. And if you use the E string, maybe it won't translate as well as you like to other strings, because nothing stops you here. You have to stop yourself. But if you practice this technique properly, you'll be able to get the same sound on the E string.